In the last 24 hours, over 5,600 migrants entered eastern Croatia at the border with Serbia, and more are still arriving, mainly by bus but also by train. Most of them have given up attempts to force their way through the Hungarian border and now want to pass through Croatia on their way farther north into the more prosperous EU member states. The migrants were met by members of the Croatian Red Cross, who provided them with food, water, and other necessities. From Tovarnik, the refugees will be taken to accommodation centers in Ježevo, Dugave, Kutina, and Sisak. The Croatian Defense Ministry issued a statement confirming that Defense Minister Ante Kotromanovic has made a decision to have the armed forces erect 5 fully equipped tents near Vinkovci in eastern Croatia and in Chepin on the outskirts of Osijek to accommodate refugees. Croatian President Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović expressed concern over this veritable flood of migrants and refugees who've made their way into the country. While affirming that Croatia has shown its humanitarian face, she said such a high number of people arriving all at once is unacceptable, and also noted that those who made their way into the country by simply walking over farmland indicates that there is a serious problem with the border control system. At this morning's cabinet session, the Croatian government established an emergency headquarters to coordinate activities pertaining to the arrival of migrants into the country. Prime Minister Zoran Milanovic said Croatia is doing what it has to by registering the refugees and that it will continue to do so as long as this is possible. He noted that the country's capacity is limited and that Croatia's vital interests must also be protected. However, he pointed out that Croatia has demonstrated a humane approach to the crisis. Also this morning, the Prime Minister met with Austrian Chancellor Werner Faymann to discuss the refugee crisis. No statements were released to the press, but Austria yesterday called on Croatia and Slovenia to refrain from setting up humanitarian corridors to other countries, since this would constitute a violation of European laws. The Austrian Chancellor is scheduled to meet with the Slovenian Prime Minister later today. And in Slovenia, the country's internal affairs minister also said she opposes the idea of a corridor through Croatia and Slovenia that would lead to Austria and Germany. Otherwise, the Slovenian media are reporting that the country is preparing to receive an influx of refugees, and it has beefed up security at the border with Hungary, while standard controls are being implemented at the Croatian border, which is not in the Schengen border control area. In sports, Zagreb's Dinamo got off to a solid start in the European Champions League after defeating London's Arsenal with a score of 2-1 in Maksimir Stadium last night in front of a crowd of almost 18,000. Dinamo's goals were scored by Pivaric and Fernandez. And finally, the weather forecast for the rest of the day. Skies will remain sunny with some moderate cloud cover building up at places, mainly in the western inland zones. Mostly moderate to strong Scirocco winds will continue to blow on the coast, with gale force gusts on the northern and central sections. Waves on the sea will also be higher at these places, while water temperatures will range from 21 to 25 degrees Celsius. This afternoon's temperatures will generally range from 28 to 33 degrees Celsius, although they will be a little lower at the higher elevations and higher in eastern Croatia and in the Dalmatian interior. Temperatures inland will remain hot tomorrow as well, although it will get notably cooler on Saturday and especially Sunday. Some rainfall can be expected on Saturday, with more abundant precipitation on Sunday. Conditions will remain dry and hot on the coast in the next 2 days, accompanied by initially Scirocco winds, followed by northwesterly. Clouds will build up on Sunday, bringing cooler and less stable conditions and scattered thundershowers. Mainly Bora and northwesterly winds will also pick up.